race. Come out the black just like a linen, I will make a pay. Man, I always been a winner, I know what it takes. Wake up every morning, number one, so what you trying to chase? Recruiting all the hitters like I'm Jay Johnson. Walk in the room like Frank Wilson, you know they coming. I been balling out for weeks, dog, it ain't nothing. Every time they count on me, I'ma get them jumping. Recruiting all the hitters like I'm Jay Johnson. Walk in the room like Frank Wilson, you know they coming. I been balling out for weeks, dog, it ain't nothing. Every time they count on me, I'ma get them jumping.
In studio this morning. Bro, good morning.
Bangers.
Good morning. I like that, baby. Who you say made that? I need me one of them.
Cordell, man.
Cordell, where you at, baby? I need one of them, baby.
Let's get it.
It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lord? What up, Lord? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. I'm trying to ball like Big Folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do your dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co.
All right, good morning and welcome back to Tingle and Co. here on this Tuesday morning. Feels good to be back in the studio, back at home.
I was already here.
You were. I wasn't.
And Mikey did
They
give me,
weren't.
Mikey gave me the, oh man, you put my jersey up for me and everything. I was like, he's like, oh, you didn't come in here, did you? It's like, well, I did. Noah didn't. He's like, oh, never mind. I was like, well,
You thought you went. Yeah, you
above and beyond.
You could have. You could have ran away with that.
I know, but I think
Mikey.
it was impressive that he put it together as quickly as he did. 'Cause I was definitely gonna lie. But then he knows me too well. To
Right.
he
Right.
wouldn't
Sniffed
do
it
that.
out.
Yeah.
Nah, that's not what we did.
No, he wouldn't do that.
But good morning.
I have to make
here.
him do something.
Yeah, of course. On this 24-degree Tuesday morning, it's a little chilly outside. We appreciate all of you getting in here with us. As it's funny, I feel like the colder it gets, the more that door vacuums. Like the weather, I don't know why. That's probably true.
Well, it's
how it all works.
the warm air in here versus the cold air out there.
Yeah, because I mean,
Why
it
does
is.
that happen? I just set this. Oh,
Well, but we do have Christian and Poggi in here. Good morning, fellas. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
We're staying warm.
Yeah, pretty solid.
There you go.
I'm staying warm, sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have no heater in your apartment.
No, we do. It's
Okay,
just
good.
Like, wake up cold anyway.
Yeah.
Going to take a shower. Get in the shower, you're freezing.
I don't mind it though.
Good.
As long as there's no snow on the ground, I'm good.
Well, see, because you're used to it. This is nothing to you, right?
I wouldn't
from
say
Michigan.
it's cold.
Right,
it's
right,
cold
right.
for sure. There's no snow on the ground,
Yeah.
so we're fine. That's all that matters.
Because that's the funny thing, I guess, for a lot of people that come from up in the north.
Yeah.
Is you come down here and the world shuts down
Yeah.
anytime it gets below 32.
I guess well, back home, like the other day, they were at like negative 25
Yeah.
with wind chill and everything, and feet of snow everywhere. So I'm much happier down
Yeah.
here.
I'm sure.
How
sure.
was the what about summer?
Summers are the most beautiful thing.
No, I'm talking about so these summers now.
Oh.
I like the same feeling of like I'm glad I'm out the cold, but now I wish I was back up north.
Yeah. It's
So-
like if I ever get, rich and famous, I'm gonna have
That's why you're here?
I'm gonna have a summer beach house back home.
Right.
That's what we'll do.
There you
And
go.
then I will never go there in the winter.
Of course. You travel back and forth.
Exactly.
Time on, time off. We appreciate everybody getting in here this morning. Tom, Brian, Glim, Hal, Slat, Dougie B, 2127. Good morning, everyone. Way warmer this morning in Colorado than yesterday, for sure. It is not warmer in Baton Rouge.
No, it got colder.
That's for sure.
If
Patrick
there was-
Byers got tickets to the opener and Saturday's game. I can't wait. I'm assuming that's baseball.
Yeah.
Exciting around there. Mike, great interview with Coach Jay Johnson on Mic'd Up. Lloyd, how was Jay last night? In good spirits, I'm hoping.
Yes, it was good to have him back in the
If we're not
back
in good
on the show.
not in good spirits in the preseason, that would be concerning.
Right, but he has officially flipped to 2025 is in the past. It's now 2026, but he is excited about what he's returning, and obviously he will maneuver his roster to his liking, but he does like the pieces. And he was just overall good to see him again.
Of course.
Great little repartee that the boys have with Jay, so it's good to have him back. He got a new camera.
Oh, he upgraded.
And I was like, Coach can't hide money.
2 rings, you know.
Well, he gets the new contract. He's the highest paid coach in college baseball. Then he has some camera that follows him and like zooms in and zooms. I was like, oh, what you got working? He's like, I have no idea what's going on. It's creeping me out. It's like, yeah, it's odd, but good for you. We went from having to, at the onset of this, we bought Jay a microphone and sent it to him because we were trying to figure out the audio and all. Wanted to make it professional. And it was actually Maureen that made me do it. She's like, if we're going to do this right. And I was like, oh, God damn it. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And so now he's getting his own upgrades and doing it himself. So good to see Coach getting him with the upgrading.
With the times.
Yeah, seems like that's a good sign for Mic'd Up.
It is.
He'll keep doing it.
There you go.
He wants us to go live from the game.
That would be awesome.
Or do one in the dugout. I was like, yeah. These are all great.
Tell me when and where.
Yeah, I'll do it right now.
Yeah, no, it is always awesome. Y'all's interview with Jay it's the best, because you can tell how comfortable he gets when he's talking with you boys, and it's always nice to see the head man on LSU's campus, Jay Johnson, 2 rings on his hand, getting ready for the 2026 season. That's very, very exciting, as it is. I think what was it? 2 weeks from Friday. 2 weeks from Friday is first pitch. And what's a huge weekend in Louisiana, right? That weekend you've got opening weekend for baseball. Saturday is Spanish Town, right, which is obviously the biggest parade in Baton Rouge. And then Saturday night you've got LSU women's basketball versus South Carolina in the PMAC. So a huge, huge weekend there. Speaking of LSU women's basketball, Joe Schwartz will join us this morning at 9:30 to come in and close it out. Since we've last spoken to him, we talked to him before he hit the road for College Station, and they are 2-0 since we last spoke, with dominating wins over Texas A&M and then last night Florida in the PMAC. And you've seen Jada Richard really come into her own and ball out. And we talked a good bit about that with Coach last time, but we'll make sure to get in there. So if you have any questions for Coach, anything that you noticed in the performance last night or last week, make sure you join us at 9:30 and get those questions in. The news wire around LSU football has slowed down a tad, and I don't think that's very surprising when it comes to the fact that they're starting to close some important windows, right? The transfer portal window's over. High school recruiting is essentially done. Now it's still open because you have the actual signing day, the second signing day in February. But you're starting to see the offseason kind of from a roster building standpoint. It's come to a close. You've seen them put together their roster, still making some later additions to the staff, some of those assistant roles. Ty Hatcher will be an offensive assistant. He's coming over from Georgia, where he was the assistant to the head coach for Kirby Smart. Fred McAfee, son of Fred McAfee, is joining to be an assistant under Kevin Smith with the running backs. So a handful of additions that they've made all to that staff on the offensive side, where you've really seen Lane fill out those roles with his people. I mean, there's no question when he came and took this job, he brought over his offensive minds and his guys with him. And some of them have since been offered other positions and have been talked about elsewhere and have turned it down. Most notably, Charlie Weis Jr. Was brought up around the Eagles' offensive coordinator job. Chris Lowe from On3 said in a tweet, Charles Weis Jr. continues to receive interest from NFL teams, and given the job he did with the Ole Miss offense, he will remain a commodity. The Eagles did reach out about their OC job, but Weis tells me he's 100% committed to LSU and wants to stay in the college game. So, I mean, look at that. That is LSU's offensive coordinator being pursued by an NFL team, an NFL franchise that won the Super Bowl.
I was about to say, are the Eagles kind of desperate here?
They won the Super Bowl last year.
Don't insult Charlie Weis like that, Junior. Hey, that desperate.
That's a young offensive mind. And when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, it was with Kellen Moore as their OC, who was a young offensive mind, right? And he ultimately gets a head coaching job. So, I mean, it is a role that you have seen that guy turn into an NFL head coach. And Charlie Weis opts to say no, stick with his guy Lane Kiffin, and stay in Baton Rouge, which is a huge win for LSU. It's another, like I said, it's an on-the-field win, right, from football standpoint. It's huge to hold on to your offensive coordinator, who did do an excellent job when it was him running the ship in Oxford, right, when he was, Pete let us know. That's Charlie Weis Jr.'s offense. That's not Lane Kiffin's offense. He let us know. And when Charlie Weis Jr. was running his offense, he did a pretty good job. So on the field, it's huge for LSU. But also, like I said yesterday, talking about a lot of these things, it's another PR win, right? This is LSU in an opportunity for the whole nation to laugh at them, right? If Charlie Weis Jr. leaves and takes the Eagles job, what's the first response, especially from Ole Miss fans?
They're not happy.
I mean, like if he leaves LSU and takes the Eagles job, Ole Miss fans and national media are going to point the finger at LSU and laugh at Lane Kiffin, right? They're gonna tell, Lane Kiffin can't hold on to his staff. Look, Lane Kiffin's staff's already getting snagged. What's going on in Baton Rouge? It's crumbling over there. It's going to be an issue. Can Lane Kiffin do it without Charlie Weis Jr.? The whole thing. It's an opportunity for LSU to be pointed at and laughed at. Same like it was with the Sam Leavitt situation. Same like it was the Jordan. There have been multiple opportunities for LSU to be laughed at because the country wants to laugh at them, right? They want LSU to fail. They want Lane Kiffin and LSU to fail. It's very prevalent, the viewpoint of LSU football and Lane Kiffin in this new era of the sport, right? And the way it transpired this offseason. So there have been multiple opportunities where LSU could have fallen flat on their face and been laughed at, and it would have been everywhere. They're waiting for the opportunity. LSU just hasn't given them the chance, right? If Blake Baker takes the Tulane job, it's like, Blake Baker doesn't want to work with Lane Kiffin. If Sam Leavitt doesn't come to LSU, it's, Lane Kiffin screwed it up, right? If Charlie Weis Jr. leaves, take the Eagles job, it's up. Charlie Weis didn't really want to be in Baton Rouge Lane anyway. Just felt pressured, right? The spin from Ole Miss. And it's another PR win where LSU once again does not allow themselves to be laughed at. And it really is a breath of fresh air to just see consistently opportunity time and time again for there to be something negative nationally about LSU, and they just don't allow it to happen.
No, and it does feel like a lot of this is the spin that would come from it is coming from still Ole Miss is still waiting for the other foot to drop, because as someone that's kept up with LSU for quite a while now, like not the oldest person in the world, but I have seen it and I've experienced a lot of turnover for LSU. Usually when these things happen, like you do see them, I'm so used to the spin of, well, of course he's going to go take that job. It's such a great opportunity for a young and up-and-coming offensive coordinator to go coach in the league, and you've seen the last three coaches from the Eagles, two of which have gone on to be head coaches, like with Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore.
Right.
And so it would become very easy to spin that way. It's like, oh, man, he got his taste of success, I guess. He on the college football run. It's clearly him calling plays. You can go get somebody. And I think the Eagles are, I don't know if it's desperate, but they're certainly searching for somebody that, whether it be a young up-and-comer or somebody that can stay, because they keep having to turn over the OCs. So I think that's why Weis makes sense. But it is a little surprising because what's his sample size, really? Because the thing that helps him the most is that college football playoff run. That's really the only time you can say it's not Lane Kiffin, right? Because I think whoever is the OC, as long as Lane Kiffin is around, it's Lane Kiffin's offense, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so that's you had a 2-game sample size, and it gets him the possibility to go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Like if he wanted to capitalize on that, I think you could have spun it and been like, of course he's going. But now he's staying, and you're starting to see Blake Baker stay. Your OC almost gets poached multiple times. He stays. You're bringing in more talent, and so you're starting to see this It's not that people don't want to work with Lane Kiffin. It's people do want to work with Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, there's a excuse me, there's a wholesale buy-in right around this program right now, and that's what this is another example of, is the excitement around it. And it's just Lane continues to capitalize every time there's an opportunity to capitalize, right? When there's an opportunity to put together a dominant class, right? This portal class, I listened to Matt Moscona talk about it, and this was a really good point that he made, was his stock with the fan base and the supporters is never going to be higher than it is right now.
Right.
Unless he wins a national championship, right? This time next year, it's probably not going to be this high because mistakes happen during the season. You lose games. When you hit adversity, things start to waver. As of right now, it's all good and exciting. And on top of that, every offseason game he's had to play in, right, where they match up against Tulane for Blake Baker, and they match up against Tennessee and Miami for Sam Levitt, and they match up against Oregon and Miami for Jordan Seaton, and they match up against the Eagles for Charlie Weis. They keep winning those games, right? They keep capitalizing on those moments. They're not allowing the PR to be spun the other direction. And it's huge for LSU, and it's what keeps building on this buy-in that's already been there.
I also think there's a little bit of influence these days, too. We talked about head coaching trees a lot. The Saban tree, the McVay tree, the Belichick tree. Well, I think the Lane Kiffin tree is starting to become respectable. You see Pete Golding at Ole Miss now, and then you see Charlie Weis Jr. trying to get hired away. And, I mean, eventually you will see Blake Baker, who's now essentially part of that tree, get hired away, so you can credit him to Lane. But I think this Lane Kiffin tree is kind of getting some steam. So,
well, and especially on the offensive side, right? People are going to look at Lane Kiffin, kind of similar. You bring up Sean McVay. Sean McVay's coaches get hired majority of the time as, Kevin O'Connell. And they're like, I know he can call plays. I know the offensive mind he is. So these guys that he has around him, Mike McCarthy, Mike McDaniel, same with like Kyle Shanahan, right? He's an offensive mind. So Lane Kiffin is always going to get the respect of an offensive mind, right? They're going to look at his assistants. They see what Charlie does in a 2-game, because that's what makes Charlie appealing, right? Like Lloyd said, it's really a small sample size, but it's, okay, he's learned under Lane for this amount of time. We know who Lane is.
Can we get a little piece of Lane Kiffin?
Right, and on top of that, we've also seen him do it on his own. And I really think what made him so appealing to the Eagles was the Eagles have a lot of offensive question marks. They have no identity right now. Like if you go back and watch their game against the 49ers, they don't know what they're doing, and it's crazy because they have Saquon Barkley, they've got A.J. Brown, they got Devontae Smith, they have these pieces, the offensive line, they have the whole thing, right? I mean, the majority of these guys are this is offense, right? You see Barry and Evero that are defensive coordinators, but majority of these guys are offensive-minded guys.
They had one of the worst run offenses in the entire NFL, and they have the best running back.
And then you
ever.
watch Charlie Weis Jr. call an offense with Trinidad Chambliss and with Keywan Lacey, and you go, okay, is it worth taking a shot on that with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, right? And that the Eagles wanted to take a swing, and he's sticking around in Baton Rouge, and it's a huge win for LSU. And I do agree with you, Christian, that I do think there is a buy-in from the coaching staff that there is something special being built here, right? There's something exciting. Like when you heard Lane talk about it in that breakfast that he spoke at last week, he was like, you walk into the building, you're in Baton Rouge, and it feels different. And he keeps saying just different a lot. It was in the thumbnail for today's show. He's like, it's just different. Like you walk in and you want to work harder. You want to go prove something, all of those things. And you see the top-down trickle effect. Rohan Davies sat right there in that seat and talked about when he's been in the building and he's seen the excitement and the buy-in and the trickle-down effect of, I mean, they see the top dog, the head coach, getting on a plane going to close recruitments. Well, me as the wide receivers coach or me as the linebackers coach, why wouldn't I be bought in? If the head guy can do it, I need to do it, right? Because a lot of times, and I think something that we associate heavily with the last staff was a lot of delegation, right? A lot of, y'all go take care of that. I'll hold down the home floor. Y'all hit the trail. No, it's not just George McDonald and Eric Wolford hitting the recruiting trail. It's Lane Kiffin as well. And that's what's exciting around Baton Rouge right now is the buy-in that you're witnessing. And this is another example of it with Charlie Weis Jr. sticking around. he's bought in to what's going on right now in Baton Rouge, and he says nay to the Eagles' offensive coordinator position. Don't forget, every single day, our show is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. We have partnered up with our friends at FanDuel for the entire year of 2026. We appreciate FanDuel for being a partner of this show. And if you want to bet on football, you've got one chance left. There's one football game remaining, and that is the Super Bowl, February 8th at 5:30 p.m. Central Time between the Seahawks and the Patriots, where Seattle sits as a 4.5-point favorite over New
Rashid
England.
Shaheed, Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, does he house the opening kickoff?
Yes, he gets 2 touchdowns.
There you go.
Okay.
Posey can see in the future.
All right, 2 touchdowns. One's a kick return.
And one's a receiving
One's a
touchdown.
deep go. He should have had it in the AFC in the NFC Championship game. One's a deep ball. He gets 2 of them. He wins MVP. I win a lot of money. Everybody's happy.
Would you be upset to see Rashid Shaheed return an opening kickoff in the Super Bowl?
No, but I would be really happy to see Shadur Sanders win Pro Bowl MVP. in a week.
Insane.
We'll talk about that later on in the show.
And if you are going to gamble, there are clues out there.
There are.
This was a graphic put out by the NFL before the year even started. Very interesting to see who's at the forefront of this pack and this walk to the Super Bowl.
Sam Darnold and Drake May.
And what are the chances of
Wait,
that?
where?
They're
If
all
you
the way
look
at the
all
front.
the way at the front, the two that are closest to the Super Bowl are Drake May and Sam Darnold.
That's not Malik? Oh, wait.
That is Malik
That's
Neighbors.
Malik
but
to the right,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But the
But-
2 quarterbacks.
Don't worry,
Yeah, I see him.
Cam Jordan's over there somewhere.
Yeah, Cam Jordan's up there front right. Front right, not
what?
too far.
It's creepy.
too
what
far,
are the
Cam.
chances of?
It is crazy. That is crazy.
I don't know who. It
So which one's closer right now, do you think?
feels like Drake May.
Okay, so we're going plus 4.5 on the Pats?
No.
Or do we take a money line, win the whole thing?
I don't know who's. It's going to be a great Super Bowl. I've enjoyed watching both these teams play that I didn't really watch a ton of. But to see, I keep waiting for the other foot to drop for Sam Darnold, but maybe it just won't. Because
Maybe
last
it
year
just
you
won't is right.
you saw what happened. Like last year, you put themselves in similar positions and
Right.
played so. I don't want to say so bad, but played poor enough at the end that the Vikings were like, all right, that was a fun experiment. We have to
We're
go
done.
draft a quarterback.
J.J. McCarthy.
Right. And then now Sam Darnold does it again, and he played the best game he's ever played in
Right.
professional football.
And their
the
defense
NFC
behind him
defense
is
so good.
nasty.
It's like the old Seahawks.
Right.
The better. Well, I don't want to say better. Russell was okay, but
No, Russell's
I just thought this was very interesting
It is. No, it is very
because you
intriguing.
could pick anybody. And I did bring this up to Jay Betch, who doesn't like my conspiracy theories ever,
Of course not.
but he seems to be quite pragmatic. He's like, well, maybe they just put the people that you care about so you can see them up here.
Right. Yeah, I
was
mean,
like,
that is also
who
true.
cares about Brock Purdy? Like I get Burrow and Mahomes.
But I mean, maybe they just cast May and Darnold aside and put them at the front.
But now they could
And
have just
then
put him in.
now it looks real shady.
It does.
Or they're trying to distract you. Like, here's all this eye candy. Ignore the 2 in the front.
Yeah, I'm sure people did. I
Yes.
did.
Well,
And
yeah,
it's like,
I had never seen it until you just put it back up there. And so
I wish I would have noticed it earlier, maybe a week earlier.
Yeah, maybe. You've got one more opportunity to bet on football with our friends over at FanDuel as the Super Bowl is just a little over a week away. As a little under 2 weeks away, I'll say. It's closer to 2 weeks. So you've got one more opportunity to bet on football. After that, you're going to have to enjoy some basketball bets, which are tough, unless you're taking LSU women's basketball to cover, because that just keeps on cashing. The Tigers are
Or Pels.
very, very impressive. Actually, you got the Pels pick wrong. You thought the Pistons were going to cover, and they didn't.
Who cares? 2-game win streak. Just beat the
They are on
Spurs.
2 game streak. And Zion's played 22 games straight.
Zion's healthy.
It's awesome.
All right, let's not.
Yeah, we're not going to get on that. I do want to play some clips that are in the document this morning. It's Garrett Nussmeier at a microphone, as he is a part of the Senior Bowl.
When is it all going to come out?
This week, and he gets up and he speaks. I have 2 clips that I found on Twitter. One of him speaking about, I believe it was about the core injury. And I didn't listen to it because I wanted a raw reaction on the show. So I didn't listen to it pre-show.
Well, that's dangerous because the band doesn't say anything.
Right, so that's what we're just going to play clip, and then we're going to feel how we feel about it. Then there's another one of him talking about Lane Kiffin at LSU.
Oh, I'm
as
sure
well.
he's very bitter.
You think?
But I don't know if he
This
would-
would have been fun.
I
If
don't think he would work in that offense.
I mean, they would make it work. he's not the ideal fit for that offense. No.
Mm-mm. I don't think he would have. I think he would have been. You could skedaddle,
Benched.
Unless you start skedaddling.
Unless you start running.
But let's see what the man had
Let's
to say.
listen to Nuss here.
I feel bad for him
at the podium.
He also pisses me off.
Obviously it's been a long process for me dealing with the injury, and so it was kind of down to the wire-ish. Obviously I had that re-injure towards the end of the season, and so been working really hard to try and get back healthy. And so as soon as we realized that, hey, okay, I can go do this, it was a no-brainer.
Lloyd, I'll let you react first.
Like I said, it feels like he did get served a very raw deal here at LSU. I don't think he was ever healthy. I don't think it was not a re-injury. It was a park it because I'm hurt and I'm hurting my draft stock, and I need to, if I can, any way to salvage it, it would be the Senior Bowl. Like I have to go and throw.
Yeah, I got to rip it.
So it was time to get healthy, but I'll always contend that I guess this is the most he's spoken about it publicly, maybe, where it wasn't a concerted effort on LSU's side to kind of push back against the narrative that he's like, I'm not healthy, and it's like, he's fine. It's like, this is a shit show.
Right.
But now it feels like he can speak a little bit more on it, but he also didn't really say anything. Again.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's good at the podium or if he's bad at it, but
yeah, to me, I mean, it was
the
more
coach's son for sure.
It was more of the same, right? He continued with the storyline of it was injured and then it was re-aggravated and now trying to get back healthy.
Which I believe.
Well, I just don't think it was ever not aggravated.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever healthy.
Hurt. Right, I just think he was always hurt. And so I don't know. Like I said going into this offseason, before the offseason, and I think obviously it's not been prevalent on my mind because of everything else that's happened. That was one of the things I was looking most forward to this offseason was to hear, okay, what actually happened? What actually went on, right? Like what was going on in that situation where we're just all so lost. It's just so vague and there's not any real answers. I still am just sitting and waiting to find out. And once again, there were no real answers in that response there. Here's Garrett Nussmeier talking about Lane Kiffin at LSU. Obviously, like we said, he is a part of the Senior Bowl. And I'm also excited to see him partake in that, see what the throws are looking like there.
Well,
might piss you off.
Well, and you're starting to see, obviously, if you follow, like, some of the accounts that we do, LSU ends up in your algorithm quite a bit.
Right.
And so you've seen Xavier Thomas and Chris Hilton and some of the routes that they've run and the talent that you had there. It really is one of the more frustrating experiences of they're going to blow up. And like, it's a typical LSU.
Right.
Like, whenever it's not a national championship season or a run of 3 or 4 years without one, you look at all of the talent that came through, and it becomes very frustrating at a point where you're like, Chris Hilton just never really could figure it out. Then you see him on senior at the combine or whatever. He's going to run 4.2. Yeah, and he's just like blowing past people. Like, I knew it. It just never matriculated at LSU.
Yeah, it just never panned out. And it's just unfortunate. It's this year, I'm telling you, it's going to be looked back on as one of the craziest ones.
That's 3 years in a row, dude.
Well, it's because you had there's a failure.
There's a failure.
It was mismanaged.
Absolutely. Here is Nussmeier talking about new LSU head coach Lane Kiffin.
I was obviously done before he came. I've had a couple conversations with him. Very excited for him. Very excited for the way that LSU is trending as a program, and I think he's going to be very, very good for the fit of the culture of Louisiana. I think he's going to be very good for that locker room, and I'm very excited for them. Rooting for them. I think they're going to do very well, and so I'm very excited for my teammates.
That's a great leader answer, of course. There's never been a question if Garrett Nussmeier loved LSU, and I think you heard it right there. It obviously is him speaking into the microphone at the podium, so it's not going to be maybe as genuine as other answers. But he absolutely nailed it when he said that he's going to be a great fit for Louisiana and the culture down here, because up to this point, he's absolutely crushed it. It has been I'll ask this question. Have you been surprised at all? This offseason, the way things have gone, have there been what has surprised you, or have there been any surprises at all? Maybe the way Kiffin has adjusted, the way he's been just wholeheartedly accepted by Louisiana? There's been no any of the what has surprised you this offseason?
But not that part. I think people were thrilled to be able to you identified a guy, went out and got him, and you were able to. The way that the whole thing played out, it was very hard to get the ask, right? Like if you want to do it in totality, of course, I think everybody is surprised at how LSU, where they were beginning of the year, 4 weeks into the year, to where they ended up, and you can walk, you're coming in. But the moves that have surprised me by Lane Kiffin, it feels like there were ones that people just assumed, and they didn't seem like the worst assumptions to be made, but you watch this whole thing play out, like you would assume, oh, Trinidad Chambers, Kawan Lacey, come on over, right? Like that felt like the two big moves that LSU was going to make, and whatever else he did in the portal, you knew that was happening too, because it just didn't know the players. But that was my first initial thought, was bring over Trinidad, he'll get the waiver, and bring over Kawan Lacey. That's what I thought was going to happen. To go from that to Sam Leavitt's courting, to trying to get the quarterback at Washington, to getting back to Sam Leavitt, and then I think the Seton thing is the biggest surprise of being able to operate in that arena and be able to get the deal done, because in previous years, that wasn't an LSU portal get.
No.
That's Oregon wins that race 10 out of 10 times, or Miami wins that. Like, that's the teams that you're talking about, or Texas A&M.
Or you're not even in the conversation.
Right, you wouldn't even be – that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't even be like, oh, that'd be great to get, but that's not what LSU does here. And not to only be in the conversation, but to win the conversation. And the alignment from that to like, oh, there's always something that happens. And this time it's been all quiet on the Western Front for LSU. Like, it would be you lose Blake Baker this offseason, or you lose Charlie Weis. You're like – he coached in 2 games. It's like, okay, I guess you go like reinvent it.
Right.
But instead, everything is very much going like, whoa. It usually is not very smooth at LSU, and right now it feels like the water isn't very choppy.
Yeah, and that's why the buy-in is where it's at, right? Mm-hmm. Because there hasn't been any adversity. Like I said, I mean, every opportunity there's been to win, they've won up to this point.
And there could have been a ton.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There were a million opportunities for something bad to happen, for the Lane train to maybe steer off the tracks for a second, whether it's losing the DC, right? Losing the OC, not getting the quarterback. You know, all of these opportunities for it to go wrong. Like, there was a point before Leavitt commits that it was teetering on like, uh-oh. And there could have been a lot of fan base turning, right? Because it could have been viewed as Lane screwing it up, right? When you look at the Sam Leavitt situation, it was like, well, his eye wandered to DeMond, so Leavitt moves on, commits to Tennessee or Miami, and you can't get DeMond, so now you're stuck empty-handed, right?
Instead,
and that's a real opportunity for the fan base to go, well, are you kidding me? And to get upset, to get angry because something has been screwed up, and and on top of that, the Ole Miss faithful would have consistently reminded you, your head coach just screwed that up.
Yeah, this is what he does.
This is who he is, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't let that happen. And it's been victory after victory this offseason. I don't think you could have scripted it better. When it comes to a surprise standpoint, I have not been surprised whatsoever by how well Lane has meshed with Louisiana and the culture here. Because, one, it was who he's coming after. It is the easiest situation to step into, right? It's Tyler Shuck going to Drago's after Derek Carr went to Chipotle, right? It's there's a script. You do that, you're good, right? I mean, when Frank Wilson took over as the interim, one of the first things he did was let former players back in the building, right? Because there's a script to it. How do you get everyone on your side? That's what you do, right? Lane Kiffin going around Baton Rouge, eating at the restaurants, taking pictures, documenting. He's had, the whole deal, right? Everything he's done up to this point, he's done a very good job at getting the support of the state, the city, the fan base. And then on top of that, my surprises are a lot like Lloyd. I didn't realize LSU was going to be competing in this world this soon, right? Like, I knew they were going to put together a class. You knew there was going to be a lot of attrition and there's going to be roster turnover, and they were going to put together an impressive portal class because they were going to have to, right? You were always going to have to put together a really good transfer portal class. That could have, that would be number one, top 3 in this cycle, right? You were always going to have to do that because just what you were losing, what you were going to need to bring in. And it's blown me out of the water what they've done because it's not just a really good recruiting portal class. It's historic, right? Every opportunity, like Lloyd said, we as LSU fans are still, we've got the PTSD, right? These different things pop up and you expect it to go wrong because it always has. You expect Sam Leavitt to go commit to Tennessee and Miami after you screwed it up, and you expect it to be left empty-handed. We sat here on that Monday before he committed saying, wow, I mean, why wouldn't he go to Miami, right? I mean, that's where he's visiting. That's where he's coming off of. Like, it just feels like the move, and it just feels like LSU might have screwed this up. And then a couple hours later, he commits to the Tigers, right? That is something that we were so ready to go wrong, and it didn't. You sat there expecting Blake Baker to go to Tulane. Mm-hmm. It's his alma mater. They're a playoff program. The whole thing, they're offering the $3 million whatever. Why wouldn't Blake Baker go to Tulane? Right? You were expecting that, and then it didn't happen. Right? And then you turn the page to Jordan Seaton. When his name first came up, I didn't even think LSU was going to try to be in the recruitment. That was one I looked at as Texas, Oregon, Miami. Push it aside.
Those type of NIL
LSU's going to go get their Tompkins from Baylor and their Harper from Ole Miss and the Ba from Maryland. They're going to get their pieces, right? But they're going to have to scheme this up, right? They're going to have to figure out who their left tackle is. And then it starts to heat up, and it's like, well, LSU's
still there.
LSU wants Seaton. Like, they do want it. And, okay, he's got a visit to Baton Rouge. Okay, he's staying in Baton Rouge. Lane's on a plane to Atlanta. Lane's meeting with him in Atlanta. They're making a push and then they close the deal. That was one that I didn't even think was going to be on the radar. Well, I didn't even think it was going to be a possibility. LSU's got the money offseason number 1 to go get the number 1 left tackle that's demanding quarterback money. You've paid 3 quarterbacks and an offensive lineman quarterback money. Now, I'm sure Clark and Longstreet aren't getting Leavitt Seaton numbers. I mean, I don't think they were cheap. And you've just seen it consistently every opportunity. And then you look at this, Charlie Weis, the Eagles. Of course, now they're going to snag the LSU's offensive coordinator right when it's getting good. He's going to head to the NFL. You see the landing picture of Seaton. Oh, here comes Oregon swooping in with that Phil Knight check, with that Nike check, pun intended. Right? LSU's going to miss out. They're going to be left at the altar. And then they weren't. That's what surprised me, is there's been so many opportunities in who we are in our brain as LSU fans and the LSU faithful. We've seen it go wrong in those same exact situations so many times. Or you do so well with the recruitment. You're feeling so confident in where Jordan Seaton sits on a Monday night. He leaves Tuesday morning, and you don't know now. You feel so confident in Bryce Underwood at LSU. Here comes Michigan with this check. Never mind. It's over. Done. Cade Phillips also is flipping to Texas. DeCorian Moore is flipping to Oregon. What just happened to this class that we had put together, right? You've seen those things happen so often. And there were so many opportunities for it to happen, and it just hasn't. They've just continued to be. That's what surprised me. I didn't realize it was going to happen this fast. And maybe that's on me for being naive, because when I look at it now, hindsight's 2020, of course they're going all in. They have to. He can't fail year one because the media, the narrative, all of it around him, he'd be buried if it was a failure. If he didn't put together a historic portal class, if he doesn't go out and win football games, that's what it's going to be. The national media is going to want to bury him. And as of right now, every opportunity that has arisen for LSU to be on, to pull the short straw or to be laughed at and looked at, they keep crushing it. That's what's impressive is they keep getting it right. And that's just never been our life. Just never been the world we've lived in where LSU just gets it right every time. If anything, it's like LSU's kicking their best player out of the program.
Right.
Their head coach is giving a press conference. Tyrann Mathieu no longer going to be with the team. What are they doing? Right? There's so many times these things just don't go right.
You think you have Ja'Marr Chase for 3 years? He opts out.
He opts out.
Who's done that?
Stingley has the best freshman
yeah.
season you've ever witnessed. You can't get him on the field for 2 years.
Eric Gilbert, the highest-rated recruit maybe ever.
It plays 4 games for you. And then Kayshon Bouttie's going to break records going into sophomore year. He's got 9 touchdowns in like 4 games. Hurt. Done.
But then he's going to come back.
And then you hire the new guy, and the whole thing starts over, and you go all in on this season, and then there's this injury that's not really this injury. Everything that could go wrong just starts to go wrong. And there's never been a time where LSU's just
normal.
They just keep getting it, and not just normal. They're acting like a powerhouse.
Right.
LSU's always been the sleeping giant that every couple of years they'll get poked, they'll wake up, they'll win, then they'll go back to sleep. Right? You'll with Ed Orgeron, you'll be. I mean, look at where LSU when he took over in 2016. They went on tonight. He gets the job. 2017, they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
They lose to Troy at home. Like it was not good. It's not a good spot for old Edo.
Fumbled the first play of the game, and then you blame like we had the wrong rotation, and it's like that's your fault,
right? And then guess what?
Like, what would you say? Like, we don't need to know that.
And then the monster got poked by a transfer quarterback coming from Ohio, right? And lightning in a bottle, you get that, and then guess what? After that,
you think that you're going to continue to do like,
and the giant goes back to sleep. The monster goes back to sleep. Rest its eyes.
Dead.
Right. And then it gets poked and prodded on a November the first Saturday of November in 2022, and it's like,
look at where this
might be a thing. Look where it's headed, right? And then it just rests its eyes again.
This is what happens when you hire a proven winner,
right? Then
Brian Kelly brings the kryptonite back. You're like,
then it goes back to sleep, and it feels like right now you've got a guy that wants this monster to be a monster.
Right.
That knows who it is. And the reason I know why he knows what it is and what it can be is because of who he's got on speed dial to put up on his ear to say, hey, coach, how do I handle this in Baton Rouge? And there's no better person to ask. Because he dominated Baton Rouge when he was in Baton Rouge, then he dominated Baton Rouge when he was in Tuscaloosa. There's not a better person to ask. I mean, who's the best player on LSU's campus? Well, I'm going to get Dylan Moses, Christian Hare. I'm going to just snag all of these guys off of U-High's football team, which is literally, you can watch them practice from the coach's office. Right?
God.
And so there's
Thank
this,
God he's gone.
I
Lamar
know.
Brown would have ended up at Alabama.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like,
and not only is he no longer there, he's right
he's
here.
But I am interested.
It's hard to not be excited.
I'm interested to see, because of everything that, all the resources that Lane Kiffin is using for this, because he, like, what was going to say, like, there's no better time for him to be able to do this, and he's right.
The stock will never be
I'll never be able to probably ask for so much and get so much in return because there's nothing. You're trying to set him up to succeed, and he knows that. And if y'all want it as badly, I'm asking for this, you're getting it. Boom, here, this is the deal. This is how it's going to get done. Okay, we'll keep saying yes until at some point you'll be asking for less, or it won't be as honeymoon phase as it is right now. So, with that being said, those resources are finite, right?
Right.
And I'm wondering, or starting to ask myself, how will this impact the other parts of LSU? Because, and not academics, like the other teams, because LSU has been known as overall a school that competes in nearly everything. You win baseball national championships, you won a women's national championship, your gymnastics teams won a national championship. You're competitive
track
in all
and field.
Right, that will always happen. But you're competitive in all these things, and then you see, well, Mulkey wants more money. Jay Johnson wants an indoor facility, and it's, well, Lane Kiffin just took a $200 million, I would imagine. Not Lane Kiffin, but the football program needed to fire somebody, hire a staff, hire a roster, and that all comes from a pool. And it's like, well, you want some kumbaya around this, and we asked Jay about it because he is adamant about he does want some new facilities and wants some new things that he deserves. When I treat me like the winner I am. But he also did say in the same breath, like, when LSU football is good, it's good for everybody.
Yes.
And it's like, it's great to be able to take recruits to football games when they win. Like, it keeps us, it is the lifeblood of what's going on here, but you do have to start to wonder how this is all going to be pulled out.
Mm-hmm. And that's
after this year.
That's the athletics pot is coming from that. Mm-hmm. It's coming from this one entity, right? You've seen Jacques put out, some of the numbers. There were 2 sports that made a profit, right? It was LSU football and men's basketball because of TV deals, right? That's the majority of where the money comes from. And LSU football made $67 million, and they went, what was their record? They were 7-6. Mm-hmm. Right? You won 7 games, and you made a big old chunk of change, right? So imagine how much like this we said, the rising tide raises all ships, and so you need this program. That's why you go all in and spend the resources you have on this program, because it doesn't just benefit LSU football. It benefits the state, and it benefits the other sports on campus.
Yeah, you play more games, you make more money, and then, other tems get to benefit off that as well.
And get a new library.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. But recruiting. It's better to bring a commit to LSU Alabama 2022 when you're winning versus LSU Texas A&M 2025, where you can't get the commit out of the game fast enough. Like, we need to get out of here.
TJ Ribs.
We're going anywhere but in this stadium right now because you can't witness this, right? It's better to bring a recruit on a visit when they're winning. It's better for everybody, and this is the engine that keeps this thing going is LSU football, and so you've got to get it right. And as of right now, it has been beyond impressive how right they've got it. It's very, very exciting, and as of, like I said, there's been no not real adversity, because there has been adversity. There have been things that have popped up that could have gone wrong, and they haven't, right? But there haven't been games played yet, right? That's what it's going to come down to 1,000%. How excited are you going to be when they do drop a game, right? What's the buy-in going to look like when they do lose one? Right? What's the buy-in going to look like when maybe one of these portal guys you got doesn't live up to the expectation? And that's what we're gonna see as the season rolls on. But as of right now, there's no reason your excitement can't be as high as it is. There's no reason you shouldn't be excited. And it'd be hard pressed to find people that are looking at it and waiting for the other. I don't think there's a lot of fans right now around LSU that are waiting for the other foot to drop, which is very intriguing, because that's how you look at a guy like Sean, right, your brother. That's how we've always been coded to be. We'll just wait for the other foot to drop. But I don't feel like there are a lot of fans that are in that mindset right now. They're just kind of fired up and excited. Let's get to the seat. Let's get there. Mm-hmm. Let's do this.
Well, I think you said it exactly. I mean, I think every single time that you had an opportunity to feel that way so far without any games being played, he's kind of handled it accordingly, making sure that you don't lose the game against Tulane with Blake Baker and Seton and grabbing all those guys. But I think it also comes into a thing where it's like, what do you do next? What comes what comes after that? And y'all have been on it all show where, they do all these good things, but something is about to happen. Something's about to happen. Nothing's happened yet, but I think that thought of where can this go wrong is still there in like the very back of your head. But every time that thought comes up, Kiffin shuts it down immediately. So you can't really do anything else until a game's been played.
Yeah, and that's the part of the offseason we're about to get into, right? The exciting things are dying down a little bit, right? The portal class is done. You've got the high school class. You're kind of just sitting and waiting on spring football to get here. And even with spring football, how excited, is it going to, you're not going to win any games in spring football, right? Your starting quarterback's not even going to participate in spring football. But you're going to get to watch them put on the uniform, see what number everybody is. That's what's exciting about spring all the time, especially now with these roster changes. The roster sheet means so much more now than it did 6 years ago. Because you had a really good feeling about who was still going to be on that roster 6 years ago, what number they were going to be in the whole thing. Now it's like, okay, it's like first day of class, where you're a teacher and you've got a whole new grade level of students coming in. You got to relearn everybody's name, who they are, right? The whole thing. And it's going to be an exciting season of the year when spring football gets here. But we're officially reaching the point where the conversations around LSU football are going to settle a little bit. You know what I mean? You would assume over the next couple of weeks, these conversations and the storylines around LSU football will die down a tad. If they don't, I also wouldn't be that surprised. But with where it sits right now, you would assume it's going to kind of settle a bit as you
there's
get
nothing
away.
left to do.
As you
right?
get away,
there's no more storylines to have.
Right, you would assume until
Unless-
the Eagles come out and offer your offensive coordinator a job, and he says no.
Right, like that. Even there's things that keep popping up.
know?
It's like you've been in the news quite a bit lately, and you will. It's interesting to see because Duke and Mensa just settled. And so that LSU probably would have been in that conversation if you don't get Levitt. It would have been you'd have been doing that to
Demand.
Exactly. You'd be doing the same thing,
Yeah.
trying to afford this buyout for somebody. I don't think Miami is catching very much flack, but LSU surely would have just because of the noise that they had made in the portal.
I mean, Pat Forty did a write-up on Kiffin being
Yeah,
the-
always.
whatever.
And now you have like the other storylines. Like now, Ole Miss they thought LSU was tampering. Now you've been very much called out by Dabo Swinney. There's tampering 101, 201, and this tampering 301.
Oh yeah.
And that's not going away because the NCAA is interested in actively looking into it. And this is the first time you've seen them take a step in that direction of we have to get involved. I don't know what they can do,
Right.
but if
That's the $1 million question, right?
yeah, because
What
then it could
can they
change
do?
what college football is.
Right.
But it also would. I wouldn't be surprised if they start a tailspin and start spinning it back at LSU. Like, if, okay, we're gonna get caught, they're gonna get caught. Like, well, this is what happened to us.
Well, see, and that's where what I thought was interesting about the Dabo, like that section of it, right? Because you see Dabo and Clemson being very, and I don't know if everyone's seen the clip. It's about 8 minutes, which might be a little too long for us to play this morning. But it's about 8 minutes of Dabo walking you through step by step. He's got a packet of paper in front of him of each thing that's happened
Just
in
crying.
in this tampering situation with the linebacker from Cal. And the reason why I find it interesting is because, okay, well, why hasn't Pete Golding gone up to the podium and done this if they have all of these, these records of the tampering with Daugherty and well, it's because, I mean, you're gonna point the finger at Lane Kiffin, the guy who knows where everybody is buried over the last 7 years? Like, okay, well, if you do that, then he can uncover those things that y'all have got going on. He knows what it looks like over there. Dabo's got nothing to lose by calling out Ole Miss.
Well, because he's never. I mean, this is their best portal class to date.
Of course.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9 players. LSU has 49 players. Like he's the one person that can probably in this coaching profession say, I have not tampered. Because
I haven't even taken
I don't even
the
do
place.
this. Like I wouldn't even know where to begin. And then so if you start trying to look at his roster and tamper, he'll say something because I haven't done it.
Right.
Everybody else is in this odd little community of
Especially
we're all doing it.
if Ole Miss was going to point at Lane Kiffin, it'll be like, well,
You're doing it right now.
well, not
That's
just
what I'm saying,
that.
you can't
I know where everything that goes on over there. I built it, so I know where it's at.
Right.
Like I can uncover a lot on y'all if y'all want to throw some dirt this way. And the one part about Dabo's thing that I found interesting was the Austin Thomas quote, where he says, Pete's just going to do what Pete wants to do. You know, something like that. I don't remember. That's not verbatim.
Pete Golding just does what he does.
That doesn't sound like a program that's got everything in alignment. Because it sounds to me like a GM that doesn't want to tag their name to this situation and just wants to let the coach ride it out. But at the same time, the bigger question is, as much as I thought it was interesting and I enjoyed listening to Dabo flip through the pages and go through I just thought it was hilarious, first off, just seeing him up there.
Oh, he's living.
On January 14th, you saw this. He was in class, and he got this text message with this picture, and the whole, like, it was very well orchestrated by Dabo and Clemson the way they did it. But the $1 million question is, okay, what's going to happen? And it's nothing. That's the current state of the sport. I can't point a finger at Ole Miss and say, look at what they're doing, because why not? Who's going to stop you?
That's what he says. If there's no consequences for tampering, we have no rules, we have no governance.
And that's where the sport is right now. There are no consequences for tampering. You've got college basketball programs bringing back G Leaguers. Right? It's just the whole sport. There's wholesale change that needs to be made, but I can't say anything to Nate Oates about it, because guess what? If the sport's going to allow it, why not? Why wouldn't you?
He's not even the worst. I mean, Alabama's not even the worst one in this. It's the Baylor guy with his Hornets uniform on in his Baylor ESPN picture. On his profile picture, he's got a Hornets jersey on.
I mean, like, it's if there's not a rule against it, why wouldn't you do it? Mm-hmm. If you want to be successful, you have to push the limits. And as of right now, there are none. So just do whatever you want.
I'm shocked Will Wade hasn't done this yet, or at least dipped his finger in yet.
In what?
In the grab old
Bringing
NBA
back G
players.
Leaguers.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but that's the sport. I can't
dipped his finger in it.
That's terrible. But I can't point and laugh at Pete Golding or throw tomatoes at Pete Golding or Nate Oates, because why? Why
You're trying to win. Yeah,
why wouldn't
we've only applauded it up to this point, right? You've only applauded whatever. And if Lane Kiffin is, I don't think it's as blatant as, but who's to say what it is and what you've done to be able to get players? But
I mean, when have you ever heard of a coach getting on a plane and flying to another
but that
college
sound
town
illegal?
Right, but
it's
never really been done, because I guess it was there a rule against it? I don't know, but
no, but it was. Yeah, I guess there was at times, maybe like in old recruiting, it's like a no contact period, or that's illegally recruiting, like you're spending resources on a player. Now that you're seeing Lane clearly look at the state of this thing and said, why can't I do that? If I'm going to go fly, I'm going to go fly. And so, what are you doing?
Listen to this. You just keep going.
Listening to what?
I'm just listening to this clip to see if they can play it.
I thought you were doing something for the show.
Well, yeah, it would be if it's a good club. That's what I was listening to.
Of what? I don't like that.
Just finished. I started listening because you were in the middle of a point, so I was going to let you do your point while I listened to this to see if I wanted to play.
Yeah, I guess there's
I guess your point doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it's just it's talking to you.
Tampering.
Just play the clip.
And it's just
No, it's nothing important. Continue.
No.
It's not.
What is it?
It's just the guy, the Ole Miss reporter that everybody hates, saying something, and a guy tagged me in it, so I thought it was something new. It's not new.
Ben.
Okay.
It's old.
Ben.
Yeah.
He looks like Ben, the dog from those little iPad games. You know who I'm talking about?
Tamagotchi?
He's 40. He's not going to know this.
What are you talking about?
All little siblings would play the game. The Ben, the little golden retriever dog you could play with.
Would you have to take care of it?
Look him up. He looks like him.
Ben, the golden retriever.
So what were you in the middle of saying, Lloyd?
I was saying that you can see where Lane Kiffin is, like you said. There's nobody that's done what he's done, because there's at some point it felt like with recruiting it felt illegal. I don't know if it was.
I don't know if there's a rule or not.
Yeah, right. But now we don't know if there's a rule or not. But it's transfer portal, which is a whole different era, and it's you had him on campus. That was the meeting. It's like, I'm not fucking done with you yet. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're going to Atlanta. I'm going to Atlanta. Like, you've never seen, and it's like, I guess you could do that. Like, I don't know. But if you're going to go and take a different meeting, it's like, well, I'd like to go and take a different meeting. Like, I'm not, you have to leave here. Where are you going?
Right.
I think that's, I don't want to say it's desperate, but it's certainly a different way than you've ever seen anybody do to get a commitment. It's if you had them on campus, like that was the deal. Like it's over after that, and then they either commit or they don't. If they didn't, it feels like you're not getting them. It's like, oh, he's going to Oregon. No, you're not. It's like, I'm going to Atlanta.
Not gonna happen.
Dan Lanny's going. It's like, I'll tag along.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Maybe
it's
like
like
a party.
You literally have to say yes.
Well, recruitment was always, I compared it to the car dealership story, right? Where when my dad was going to buy a car, the salesman was like, if you walk out that door, I have to assume you're not buying the car. That's what recruitments used to be. You had to be in the dealership. If you left the dealership, you didn't really feel that confident in it, right? But you wanted your dealings happened in the dealership, right? On campus. Now, I mean, you've witnessed it twice. Hop on a plane, go meet them wherever they're at, and get that thing done. And it's a new sport. And as of right now, like you said, I mean, at one point, maybe there was a rule on if you can only visit with them on campus or what. But now, even if there is a rule, who's going to enforce it? Because all you have to do is go to court, get a TRO, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's why.
Everyone just goes to get a temporary restraining order, right? That's why, like, am I convinced that Chambliss isn't going to play next year? No. Why wouldn't he play? Who's going to stop him? They're going to take it to court in Oxford.
Yeah, but
the Bediako ruling happened at a Tuscaloosa court. Of course, the judge that ruled on it is a donor for Alabama. Of course, they're going to get a TRO. That's just the way the sport operates, and you can't be mad about it.
That's how it should be.
What do you mean?
I mean, if that happened in Baton Rouge,
well, of course
you better fucking say yes. How can I help? You're a judge.
Yeah.
Can you get this done now? Like, just sign the paper.
I sure can.
Exactly. That's what you would want everybody to do.
Right. And until
if there was some moral grandstanding judge.
Until there are, he'd get it. I mean,
it's not worth it.
If you're a Baton Rouge judge and you didn't grant the TRO to whoever the player is, right?
Me.
You'd be, I mean. But that's the thing where until there are strict rules, and not just rules, someone to enforce them, right? That's where it currently stands. There are rules. There's no one to enforce the rules. And so until that happens, it's just going to continue and continue to snowball and roll down a slippery, slippery slope where now professional basketball players are allowed to play college basketball. I mean, that's something that, like, I remember when I was in high school, LaMelo Ball, right? He leaves him, LeVar sends him and LiAngelo to Lithuania to play pro ball. Mm-hmm. Well, there was a debate if LaMelo could even come back and play high school ball. He ends up at Spire Academy, but the whole thing was he was never going to be able to play college basketball because when he played in Lithuania, he got paid. Therefore, he cannot play college basketball. And that's just not the case anymore. You can go in the G League and be like, it's not cutting it. The G League check isn't enough. I know my friends over in wherever college town, they'll cut me a bigger one. So why wouldn't I? And we'll continue to see who all dives into this mess because it's not going to stop anytime soon. Like I said, the guy from Alabama played in a G League game in Birmingham 2 Saturdays ago, and then this past Saturday, he was wearing the crimson. It's unbelievable. But why wouldn't Alabama do it? I'm not mad. I can't be mad at them. Do I think it's right? No. I mean, my high school basketball coach, it sucks for my players that they're probably not going to get any D1 offers, even if they are good enough, because why would they offer a 17-year-old? They can get a 27-year-old out of the G League.
Or any European league
right.
that they want.
You got a 26-year-old freshman on LSU's roster.
You saw Illinois. Illinois looks like one of the best teams in the country, and they have like 4 freshmen. They just their last name all ends with itch.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you?
Christian's name ends with itch.
What?
Bitch.
Bitch.
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us here. Hour number 1 has come to a close. We're going to take a quick break here come back, reset the set, and get ready for Joe Schwartz, who's going to join us in a little over 20 minutes. Talk LSU women's basketball as they have gone on a 5-game SEC win streak after starting 0-2 with those 2 losses as a combined 6 points. We're going to come back with more Tingle & Co. right after this.
Honor of Alan Ward Granting III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granting at Gilmartin on the Go Deli.
Gilmart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff,
where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
All right, welcome back here as we kick off hour number 2 on this Tuesday morning. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us here and starting your morning with us as it's getting into a little bit of a slower season. But there's a winner on campus right now, and that's LSU women's basketball. They keep on winning.
Missed the cue.
You missed
winter.
Oh, it is winter on campus, as you see
Does
there.
this happen?
I don't know how. The LSU men's basketball team and traveling is a story that continues on. Mm-hmm. They had the plane issue this season where they get back late and then they leave it the whole before Texas Tech, after Boston College, that whole deal. And then now coming back from Fayetteville, they end up on some icy roads.
They said the GPS
took them on some back roads?
Took them on some back roads. It's just the staff, no players.
Okay. Well, that's good. That is
nobody was injured.
Reassuring. Nobody injured, but I mean that's not pretty.
And then you have this come out also. We'll wait on if he wants to build his legacy at NC State. This is the best show I've ever had in terms of support for basketball and everything we need to win. It's on us to win. It's not often you get fired somewhere and you're up in a better spot a couple years later. Could have gone without that last part. The rest of it is cool, man.
But I do know that the bus picture may or may not become a meme soon.
Yes, absolutely. That's the only thing you can do with it.
That's what it's going to become. But ultimately, like I said, there is a winner on campus right now that can hold you over until you get to, of course, your national championship defending program in LSU baseball in just a couple of weeks. But LSU women's basketball, look, I was impressed with the crowd last night. As you know, yesterday's weather was one of those days where Louisiana people freak out. And you don't know what the roads and the attendance is going to look like. But they showed out yesterday in a packed crowd as LSU dominates against Florida once again, they covered the spread. Back-to-back games, they've covered the spread, at least since it's been the Tingle & Co. bet. Because that's where, I told y'all during last week, after the bet cashed where they cover against A&M, I was like, well, these next couple of games, I'm going to take them covering as every single Tingle & Co. bet of the day as LSU women's basketball covering, because they are just they're on a run right now. Like they're finding their groove, and there's a lot of credit to go around. That was pretty. There's a lot of credit to go around. There's a lot of people that are stepping up, but maybe none bigger than Jada Richard. We talked about her a lot with Coach Schwartz last week. That's butter. And she's stepping up in a huge role as that's a horse shot.
Oh yeah, they were talked about it a lot on the broadcast.
Yeah. And it seems like they've settled on a starting 5 with Jada, Flaugier, Michaela, and then Knox and Joyner in the post with Zakiya, Koval off the bench, as well as Mylasia Full-Wiley. But there's Jada right there. She has stepped up in an unbelievable manner now getting into SEC play. She's really finding her own, and it's been huge for the program. Because like we said, it kind of lets everybody settle into a spot when Jada steps in and grabs a hold of that point guard position. And she scored 20 last night, and it just allows everybody to kind of settle in. And they're playing with very good chemistry and great energy right now. It's exciting around LSU women's basketball. And that's why we're going to get Coach Schwartz in here in a little over 10 minutes to talk about this team. As they win by 29 points. The spread yesterday was 26.5. Covered. Back-to-back.
This is just
Tingle & Co. bets.
When it's that high, you just can't put it high enough. That was, 33.5 against A&M?
31.5 against A&M?
Yeah.